Coffee has been a massive part of our lives. How it was nurtured from farm to cup and sustained in multiple generations for thousands of years is a privilege that you and I still enjoy to this day. I'm Doreen, Area 1, District 13. Now I have the heart for sustaining coffee. Not just because I am afraid to lose it, but because I am reminded of my mother who has passed on her love of coffee to me. And being part of the next generation, this is how my mother and I are both a part of Starbucks, a company who cares about sustainable coffee. Let's go way back to where it all began, Ethiopia. From the ancient slopes of the African Ridge Valley, the coffee tree first emerged in the rich volcanic soil that is Ethiopia. Imagine how a single coffee plant, a tiny bean, was able to spark into coffee and introduce to the rest of the world, far from its origin. That is why I resonate with Ethiopia as my coffee, because it is young women who do the ceremonies themselves. With my pre-wet paper filter, 410 grams of hot filtered water, and 30 grams of ground coffee. Let's begin the brewing process. I cannot stop thinking about the women of Ethiopia who account for 75% of the coffee production in their region. From farming to strengthening generations and sustaining a bountiful culture of coffee. But sadly, you and I are affected by the impacts of our ever-changing world. Climate change, global warming, all these affect the coffee market. From our farmers who rely on coffee for livelihood, who think about factors like growing, quality, yield, to the women of Ethiopia who continue a long-standing tradition. How can we ensure sustainable coffee? That is why we, at Starbucks, as an industry, gives utmost importance to ethically sourced coffee, making sure that our beans are acquired in a responsible, sustainable way. Embracing these principles, Starbucks, with the aim of yielding higher quality coffee crops to benefit the farmer, the environment, and positively impact the global coffee market, focused on cafe practices. We ensure quality, meticulously tasting coffee, with a few partners tasting more than 250,000 cups of coffee each year. Starbucks ensures economic transparency. Every bag of beans in Starbucks from our producers are detailed, from the country of origin from which they came from to the farms they've been processed to, as well as the names of the farmers and the price paid to them. That is to maintain strong relationships with the people behind our coffee. Starbucks gives back to the environment. As weather patterns fluctuate globally, Starbucks ensures measures like planting trees, researching and understanding soil and water quality for farmers to adapt to their situation. We, as an industry, care about social responsibility, collaborating on humane working conditions, not just for our farmers, but for their families, creating a ripple effect towards the community, sharing education to children of coffee-growing communities. With farmer support centers, Starbucks builds a legacy of coffee, incentivizing young farmers to continue the coffee industry. Now, our coffee is ready. Let's appreciate the hard work of the people behind our coffee. I can already smell the citrusy and complex juicy aroma found in Ethiopia. And with the pour-over coffee method, it enhances its subtle lime flavors and brings out its dark chocolate and velvety notes. With its medium body that harmonizes with its medium tangerine-like acidity, this cup of warmth elevates me in a personal level. That is why I take pride to be a part of Starbucks, having a multitude of generations to benefit, just like me and my mother, who's a Starbucks barista herself. Strong, like coffee. 2 generations of women bond with our unwavering love for coffee. I no longer worry whether the coffee legacy continues, because it will, from its origin Ethiopia, to farms, to a cup, to a Starbucks barista like me, to you. Once again, leaders, I'm Doreen, and my coffee story is far from over. It lives on, from one generation to another.